You are listening to the Your Empty Nest Coach podcast. Christine? Yes, Christine? You know, with the social distancing implemented due to COVID-19, that your listeners may not be in an empty nest right now, and they may be struggling with an unexpected full nest. I mean, listen to that racket in the kitchen. Ooh, you're right about that. You are listening to the Not So Empty Nest podcast with Coach Christine. Is that better? I think at least for the near future, it might be a good call. Sounds like a plan. Before we get started, please remember that you may leave me audio feedback at any time through my SpeakPipe link or Google Voice number. If you find yourself wanting to offer advice to my listeners or talking back to me during the episode, I invite you to submit your thoughts there. You'll find the links to do this in the description of the episode. On Apple Podcasts, click Details. On Spotify, click See More. On Overcast, press the I for Information button. Get the idea? Of course, I always have full show notes with links to anything I discuss in this episode on my website. I can't wait to hear from you. Hello, my wonderful listener. I'm continuing my Not So Empty Nest series today with a guest from New Zealand, Katherine, the 5-kilo traveler. You may recognize Katherine as she is a member of my Your Empty Nest Coach Quick Tips team. Katherine, first of all, thanks for being here today. And can you share with us what you are experiencing due to COVID-19 restrictions?
Hi, Christine. Well, thanks for having me. New Zealand is in lockdown at the moment. So the New Zealand government is taking this really seriously, which is really good. Basically, all non-essential businesses are closed, or they're operating from home if they're not having face-to-face contact with anyone. So we're basically at our house. My daughter has just come back from university, and we're just all hunkering down in our place. We're allowed to go out for walks, but only locally. We're not allowed to drive places and then go for a walk. We can go to the supermarket or the pharmacy, but only one of us really should be going. And they're really trying to restrict movement around the place. So it's been pretty strange, really. But I mean, everyone's experiencing that.
Yeah, that's interesting about the walk drive, because my husband's a runner and he was just asking me this morning. He's like, what are our rules here in our state? And it was very difficult for us to even find that. Everything else is the same for us, but the actual rules we don't, as far as I know, I could be wrong, but it's not easy to find that I don't think we have the restriction that you can't drive out to go walk somewhere. But I don't know. Very interesting. I know you had a bit of an ordeal trying to get your daughter back from college, correct?
So when my daughter, we got the notice that in 48 hours, New Zealand was going into lockdown, and that sort of happened at 1:30. I think everyone in New Zealand went on the Air New Zealand website and started booking flights to get all the students home, because a lot of the students are all over New Zealand, so you want to get them home. And we've got 2 islands. So we live in the North Island and my daughter is studying in the South Island. So we went through the website, and you'd be going through and you get the flight all sorted, and you'd be putting in the details, and then a pop-up would come up saying this flight has sold out. And so then you go to the next flight, and it just kept happening over and over. And I was just getting into an absolute state, thinking she's not going to get home. She's going to be stuck. And also the reality hit home, because I thought that perhaps if she stayed down in Christchurch, then if she got sick or anything like that, then I could fly down and help her and look after her. But of course, when they gave the restrictions, you realise that actually flying is only going to be for essential services only, and I wouldn't be able to get down there. So it was really scary. And then, of course, we booked a flight, but it was after the lockdown period. But she'd spoken to Air New Zealand, and they said, yes, we're still flying to get the students home or to get people home. And it worked out fine, but it was a little bit sort of it was pretty nerve-wracking at the time. Yeah.
That sounds like it. And to confirm to my listener, she is home now, correct?
She's at home, yeah.
Yay. Okay, that is good. So how is your home different now than it was 2 weeks ago?
Well, it was interesting because before she came back, she said to me, "Look, Mum, I think we've got to talk about what happens when I come home." And I'd been thinking about this as well because, she's only been away for 3 months, but she's had a lot of independence. She's been making her own decisions and all that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
you don't want to take that away from her. You want to keep that independence. So it's sort of been working through those things and making sure that we're not reverting back to her being the child and the family and us being the adults kind of thing. So that's taken a bit of work, just being really mindful of that and not going back to old ways. The other thing that with our family is that my husband works from home normally anyway. So for him, it's not business as usual because his business isn't currently running. But so for us, we're used to being at home a lot. We're used to having everyone around. So it's not so different for us compared to other people who they're working from home. And that's a whole new ball game, working from home and how to figure it out and how to give people space and all that kind of thing.
Right. It's interesting. As you were talking about your daughter and I forget how you worded it, but how to give her freedom and stuff, what hit me just now is that I think the advantage we have in this situation as parents is that we're not the one putting the restrictions on our kids. So it's like we're all in it together, like you don't have to worry about, well, you can't go out tonight kind of stuff. You're like, it's just not happening.
Exactly.
I mean, if you can find any kind of, it is. When they want to go out, like, I know, I want to go out too. So, I know from watching you on Instagram, which if you're not following Katherine on Instagram, you should be because she's super fun and she gives you great tips. And are you still wearing your Merino shirt right now today? I'm curious.
I am.
You are? This is great. Day 4 of the same shirt. Yeah. Check her out on Instagram for more on that. But I know that you have been training for walking the Camino de Santiago. And how is this experience impacting that for you?
Well, I've sort of scaled back my training because I was supposed to leave in a month's time. So I have scaled it back. So I was walking sort of 10 to 15 kilometres a day. I'm not sure what that is in miles, sorry. But I was walking sort of good long distances throughout the week. And I've just scaled that right back and just walking locally. So I probably walk about an hour and a half each day now, which is actually really nice because I'm finding that that's actually keeping some normality. But the other thing I'm doing, which is really cool, is I'm listening to a guy called Dan Mullins, and he's got a podcast called My Camino, the podcast. And he talks, his thing is all about the Camino, and he interviews people who've walked it and how they found it. And some people it's about a spiritual thing, some people it's about exercise, some people it's about finding themselves, etc. But the neat thing about it is a lot of his episodes, or all of his episodes, there's hundreds of them, are all pre-COVID-19. So there's no mention of a lockdown or anything like that. So it's actually really cool just to listen and talking about the Camino and what they do and the fun things they see and the stories. And it's really neat because it's not sort of tainted by what's going on at the moment. It's really refreshing and it's like a bit of escapism really. So that sort of keeps my spirits up that I'll get there one day, but just not right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know you talk about travel a lot. Where are you now with?
So with the 5 kilo traveler, it's you sort of feel a bit, well, I feel a bit guilty sort of talking about travel because I don't really want to be encouraging people to do it. It's sort of interesting sort of how to actually deal with it. So I'm sort of focusing more on getting to know people and people are on their Instagram pages and Facebook, they're sort of just doing things in place. So I'm going for a walk today. This is my view. And it's actually really nice because you're actually getting to see areas just as a local would see it rather than the Instagram kind of, with the filters and everything. So it's sort of like Instagram with no filters at the moment. Yeah, and I think, a lot of what I do is about how to travel light and how to, packing lists and things like that, which I'll probably do something about a packing list maybe a week or so away, just to say, look, when you're in isolation, this is something you can do. But I
Absolutely. Yeah.
really don't want to push it, because people are in a really different space at the moment, and they just need positivity and distraction. So, yeah.
Yeah, you're right on. I think it is a good time to talk about how, when you do get to travel again, how you might travel differently. And, I had Deirdre last week on decluttering, and you can kind of apply that to
Yes.
things you take when you travel, so that next time you travel, you can just start thinking about, like, how would you do it differently? It's,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, it's so interesting the impact this has on us and how it makes us reevaluate things.
Yeah.
It's not always bad when it's mental, like what you're processing out,
But I do find, just through Instagram and social media, is that, I don't know, there's a real coming together. And it's not
Yeah,
just a coming together of New Zealanders, it's a coming together of the whole world. And I find
I
that
know. Isn't it great?
really, really amazing. Like, just, it's quite mind blowing.
It
We
is.
say things like, there's quotes that often go around, like, we're all in this together, but it's actually everyone, the whole world. And there was someone from one of the, oh gosh, like Uzbekistan or something like that, that commented on something that I put up. And I thought, my God, it's everywhere.
It is.
It's not, it's just, yeah, really
It
incredible.
is. It's
Yeah.
so interesting. I mean, it is the one bonding thing we all have. It's been
Mm,
it's been very interesting to me to see some of the people I follow in Italy, and they share things that,
yeah.
hey, heads up, and you hear it and you go, okay, I'm going to be ready in a month, and then like 2 weeks later, you're there. And
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
you
Exactly.
realize, oh, it's exactly what they said. It's pretty wild. And then you start, I know, even when I went to pick up my daughter, the state she was in, there were no restrictions at all at that time. So the few people I
Yeah.
talked to, I was like, be prepared. Here are the things we're out of where I live. Here are, you know, it's very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, and it's sort of that, at the moment, we've got that sort of settling into the rules kind of thing.
Hmm.
Like, people sort of think, oh, well, maybe I could do that, or maybe I could do that. And then it turns out, no, you can't. So, like, all our playgrounds are shut.
Yeah.
They're asking people not to go near playgrounds. The funniest thing was going into a supermarket, and they sort of it looks like to be, we've got quite a decent sized supermarket near us, but I'd say they let about 20 people in at a time. So it's all
Oh,
very, very spaced out. And it's just really weird seeing queues for the supermarket and having your hands sanitized before you go in. And, it's sort of like, it's a bit surreal. It's just, this is not, this isn't of our time kind of
it
thing.
is. There's nothing like it that
No, there's
I
not.
can't even. I was trying to tell my daughter, I'm like, yeah, I can think of two or three incidents together that almost have the impact in my life. Like 9/11 a little bit. My
Mm,
husband and I happened to be at Magic Kingdom when that happened. So it was really weird
yeah,
to the one day go in and there was no security there. And the next day there's security everywhere. It was, so there are little
yeah.
things that are similar though, but it's just
Mm,
huge.
yeah.
It's very bonding. And
Oh, exactly. My sister is a geography teacher, and she was saying to my nieces and nephews that they should really be writing a diary of this, because this is historical.
it is.
And if you can do, in the moment, historical accounts of what it was like, this will be history for years and years to come. And I thought, that's probably something that we all should be doing, is documenting
Yeah.
what our experience was.
It's kind of my reason of doing this is these
Mm,
different episodes is I have a tendency, you get into things get a little more normal down the road and you forget what it was really like.
yeah,
And there's something about hearing someone's voice to remind you what it was like that, oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, it's an oral history, isn't it?
Yeah. So thank you for sharing your experience with this. And
Oh,
so,
that's cool.
and one of the things I'm doing on Instagram is asking my Insta family to share their social distancing daily check-ins, kind of like a journal. So
Yep.
I've made my own highlights so I can go back and watch them too. So, and I would love for you to share yours today with us. Are you willing?
Yeah, yeah.
It's okay. So what day do you think you're in of social distancing, like that with
So
having
I
you
think
all
we're
home?
day 4.
4. Okay.
Yeah.
And just for comparison, listeners, I think I'm on 12. So it's really interesting. New Zealand too. I'm on East Coast of US. Great. So for today or yesterday, as we're recording this, tell me something that you have loved.
Probably it's the spending more time together. So in our normal lives, pre this, um, we worked from home or based ourselves at home. And so it's very easy when you work from home to find something else that needs doing in the business. So you go to the office and spend more time. But actually, when your business is shut down, you can't revert to that going to the office. So we're just spending a lot more time together, and we're doing things like jigsaw puzzles and just just talking more, and it's actually really, really nice, and it'll be good to carry it forward
Oh,
from
that's lovely.
this situation.
Wow. How many pieces in your jigsaw puzzle?
That's one of those. Is it a was jig? It was gish.
I don't even know what that is.
Too many. Oh, it's a jigsaw puzzle that's backwards, so that when you get a jigsaw puzzle picture, but that's not the picture. What the picture is what the person in the jigsaw puzzle actually sees.
Oh my
So
goodness.
you're yeah, so you're so you're sort of seeing what the photographer's taking, but oh my god, that makes no sense at
That sounds so difficult. I have enough trouble with the regular one. That's pretty impressive.
all.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so something you found surprising.
I guess what I'm finding surprising is how motivated I'm actually being at the moment. So I'm sort of going for a walk every day, and I'm getting out in the garden and listening to podcasts, and I don't know, I'm sort of feeling quite organised. The house is the cleanest it's been for a long time.
Well, that's nice.
Exactly. Um, yeah, I just feel really organised and doing things, not just lying around doing nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And do you have a go-to thing that makes you laugh or just something random made you laugh recently?
Funny. Well, actually, so I've been going for walks every morning, and I've put my merino leggings on and my day 4 merino t-shirt, and I head out on my walk. And anyway, the other day, my daughter came home, and I walked into the kitchen and I said, "Right, I'm off on my walk." And she goes, "Well, you're not going out dressed like that." I said, "What's wrong with it?" She goes, "I can see your underwear through your merino leggings. Go and put something decent on."
So did you?
I went and put I've got a little merino skirt that I wear, so I put that over the top so I was decent. Not that I'm going to see anyone, but.
Right, I know. That's hysterical. Is she playing mom on you?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's great. So it sounds like you're doing pretty good. Is there anything that you feel like you could use help with where you are right now?
Uh, Not really. I guess it's the age-old thing of making sure that social media doesn't actually become all-encompassing
Right.
for the whole family, really.
So, and it sounds like I think I know where you are. I call it this conscious effective Olympian of your life or CEO of your life. And it sounds like you're pretty close there. Is that how you're feeling?
Yeah, no, I'm feeling. Yeah, no, it's feeling all in pretty good control at the moment. Yeah, that's all good.
Excellent. Excellent. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing.
That's okay.
So, I invite you now to share anything with my listeners, a quote, something you love, a life lesson, or a message. What would you like to say to them?
So I guess probably the message is just be kind to yourself and kind to others. I think you've got to look after yourself and look after others. That's really all I can think of, really. Sorry.
No, it's great. Being kind to yourself is harder than most people think. So
Yeah, exactly.
it is.
Exactly. Just
This
take it
takes a
easy.
lot of patience. I mean, it's nothing we've ever experienced before.
Yeah,
So
true.
it really is important to be kind to yourself. It's great
Yeah,
advice. I love it.
yeah.
So where's the best place for my listeners to reach you?
So my handle is the same everywhere. So it's the number 5, kilo Traveller, and Traveller's got 2 L's.
Yes, for US people, 2 L's.
Yeah.
I think people think I'm nuts because I spell it different ways on my website depending on like, okay, Catherine would spell it this way. I would spell it this way.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my gosh.
Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook. Yeah.
Excellent.
The 5 Kilo Traveller.
Wonderful. And thanks for being here today, Catherine. I appreciate your time, especially with all that we have going on.
Oh, I know, exactly. Oh, I also forgot, sorry. I've also got a website, which is the 5kilotraveller.com. So,
Excellent.
yeah, find tips there. Yeah, no, it's been great, actually. It's been great catching up.
It has been. This is the first time. I mean, Catherine and I have interacted more than a few times, but it's the first time live. And I love that we're on the other side of the planet. It's so cool.
I know, it's great. So it's 75 degrees here at the moment. And we're in autumn now, heading into winter. And I keep seeing all the American people putting posts up of their spring flowers. And I'm like, I'm so jealous.
That's been me watching you all winter. I know.
We just fast forward winter and I'll just,
It's so funny. It's great. Yeah. It's amazing. I have to say, I think about like when I was in college, and I can't imagine this happening then. With technology the way it is today, we're just so lucky that we have it.
Oh,
that we can be this connected. I mean, I had to call my parents like once a week.
Yeah.
I don't even know how we do this.
My daughter's got lessons that are happening through the college that she's at, and that's, I think, really great, giving the students something to keep going with. I think it's really good.
Yeah.
But in New Zealand, they've actually brought the school holidays forward. So it was supposed to be in 2 weeks' time, but they've actually brought the holidays forward by 2 weeks, and then they'll, I guess, review things, or they'll go online after the school holidays.
Interesting. Now, I think your daughter's in the arts, correct? Right?
Yeah, she does music theatre.
Yeah, because my daughter's more in art, studio art and film, and it is an interesting. I think it's a lot like the lab sciences where going online isn't quite as straightforward as some other courses. Yeah,
definitely.
Interesting. Get to be really creative.
I know. But hey, it'll be really interesting to see how things change after all of this as well. Like what we go back to, or what we say, actually, we can do things better. We can,
totally agree.
Better.
Well, I think this is a wrap for us. Well, cool. This is really great. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you, Christine.
And to my wonderful listener, we both want to tell you that you are amazing. See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks. Thank you. A huge shout out to every member of my GPS support flock. I invite you to fly on over to my website or see my show notes for a link to learn how you may become a GPS support flock member, where you will gain access to all of my programs, monthly workshops, group coaching, and more. See you there. Oh, you cut out again. You stopped at really. You're gone. You're gone. You're gone. Where are you? See if we can get you back. I don't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Well, it must be my end. It just cuts out.
It could be. We're like pretty far away. We're like, why is it cutting out? We're only like on the other side of the planet. I'm going to put this in bloopers too.
Oh, dear. Oh, crikey. I haven't prepared for this.
Oh.